You want to support Roland Martin Unfiltered? Be sure to join our Bring the Funk fan club. Every dollar that you give to us supports our daily digital show. There's only one daily digital show out here that keeps it black and keep it real as Roland Martin Unfiltered. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered daily digital show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. You can make this possible. Folks, jury selection continues in Minneapolis in the trial of Derek Chauvin, the former Minneapolis cop on trial for the murder of George Floyd. That will continue. We've been live streaming that, so that's why if you want to see the proceedings, all you gotta do is come to Roland Martin Unfiltered, come to our YouTube channel, our Facebook channel, also our Periscope Twitter feed, and we're actually been streaming that content every single day to keep you abreast of what's going on. A little bit earlier, I had a chance to go to my high school, Yates High School, which is also the alma mater of George Floyd. I recently created a $25,000 scholarship for students at Yates, and one of the local TV stations at KHOU interviewed me in front of Yates. And so while I'm there, y'all, and this was, trust me, not planned at all. Earlier in the day, I was doing a Microsoft discussion with two of George Floyd's brothers. So while we were there, while I was out there, like literally right after I shot this video, because if y'all play it again, what's on the ground there, you see Black Lives Matter painted in the colors of Jack Yates, crimson and gold. That is the George Floyd mural that is on the street in front of Yates High School. So while I was, right after I shot this video, there were several people who came up, some who recognized me, and they wanted to take pictures, and then a car pulled up. And then who gets out? George Floyd's daughter, Gianna Floyd. This is the photo. So I had a chance to chat with her, take a photo with her. And so this is us standing out there on the street in front of that mural right in front of Jack Yates High School. One of the things that we talked about today in the conversation with the Microsoft, it was worldwide with the Microsoft folks, Greg, and I kept talking about the aftermath, where we stand, and all of these companies making promises, and we're going to change this and do this. And I remember last year when I spoke at Walmart for King Day, and the CEO was there, and I said, you are so large that if you, Walmart, decided to, in a very aggressive way, tackle the issue of race, deal with DEI, deal with the real issues, deal with lack of black executives, you by your lonesome could change the entire industry because you are a behemoth. We're seeing in Georgia, Greg, the pressure being put on Coca-Cola, Home Depot, UPS, and other companies. Mm-hmm. The pressure being put on them to speak out against voter suppression. Not say, hey, we're allowing the Georgia Chamber of Commerce. No, your own independent response. The aftermath of George Floyd, 3 months, in 2 months, we'll be dealing with the anniversary commemoration of his death. And I say this is not a moment where we allow corporations to say we're with you, but then not show accountability to show you're actually with us. I'm talking about show us your increase in black businesses. Show us how many you're now supporting. Show us how you've expanded your talent pool. Show us your relationship with HBCUs. Don't just sit here and say, we're going to give $1 million to Black Lives Matter. No. I want to know, what are you doing with the billions in commerce you're driving to other companies? Are you driving those dollars to black businesses? Because I can guarantee you that little $1 million donation somebody gives won't even compare if all of a sudden you're driving 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 billion to black businesses. We as black people, Greg, have got to stop getting caught up and emotionally charged up with that $1 million donation to the NAACP or Black Lives Matter or the Urban League or the NAACP Legal Defense Fund. No. Y'all giving $1 million while over here your market cap is $260 billion.
Right. Well, I mean, when you approach the mega corporations, their response will be, to quote Richard Pryor, I ain't got to show you shit, because it's capitalism. This is how capitalism works. You know, you have to hit capitalism with capitalism. In other words, and I don't mean that capitalism is the best system at all. I'm saying you have to hit capitalism where they hurt, and where they hurt is profits. I mean, and I know in a minute you're going to talk about Sister Alexi McCommon. You know, the only thing happened between Alexi McCommon taking that job at Teen Vogue and today, his name is Robert Aaron Long. And then when Ultra Beauty and Burt's Bees and like, hey, Teen Vogue, they jumped. They made her walk the plank. Now, what you're saying in Georgia, until Coca-Cola says the same thing, but guess what? Y'all still drinking Coke. It broke my heart the other night to hear Tamir Rice's mother come for our sister Tamika Mallory, who basically moved to Louisville to fight for Breonna Taylor. But I understand why, because these companies dropped 15 cents, $90 million, into a situation, and we over here, getting back and forth. Where's the money? Mike Brown, Dad, where's the money? But guess what? Y'all ain't turned off the recording industry. You didn't turn off the Grammys. Why? And I ain't got to show you shit. In other words, until you make me feel the pain, as you always remind us, Dr. King said near the end of his life, I ain't got to show you shit. You just did a 2-hour thing on black media and advertising companies and everything. You even got our brother Byron Allen to the table to talk about it. At the end of the day, the only way this is going to change is when we are organized enough to redistribute the pain, in the words of Martin Luther King. When that happens, they'll get up off diversity, because, see, diversity is a code word for whiteness. They'll sprinkle a few black employees around it, and they'll get to equity. Equity is when you got to redistribute these resources.
And redistribute the pain, Reese, was in the words of Dr. King, but it came from Reverend Jesse Jackson Sr. Y'all listen to the speech. He quoted Reverend, but I just want to let y'all know that. Just go ahead. But the point we're laying out here, Reese, is that we cannot let, and I keep saying this, and people, and I'm gonna keep saying I'm blue in the face. We cannot let non-black folk continue to monetize blackness and not allow black people to monetize ourselves. We simply can't. We simply cannot do it. We simply. I mean, the reason the other night we were talking about black targeted versus black owned media. You keep giving money to black targeted. That ain't going to black people.
That's right.
That's going to white-led conglomerates already. That ain't going to black people. That's not building black wealth. That's not building up black families. It's not. So again, 10 months after George Floyd, we have got to have a different state of mind and not let folk pimp us for change, and then we laud them for hiring one black person, but then when you pull the curtain back, is 200 other people and ain't nobody black.
Ain't that some? Yeah, absolutely. First, I do want to say, though, that picture with Gianna Floyd is just so heartwarming to me. She's such a beautiful little girl. So thank you for sharing that picture. But to your point, Roland, this is about more than just gestures. It's about more than just rhetoric, and about basically what it is commodifying black movements. And that's what it is. And I echo what Dr. Carr said. I do feel bad for somebody like Tamika Mallory, who for one is not Black Lives Matter. She has her own organization, which is Until Freedom. So she has nothing to do with the fact that Black Lives Matter raised $90 million. What does that have to do with her? But when I see constantly more and more where we see more TV shows, more commercials, more award shows, it's all about showing this we're in solidarity with you, and it's all for show versus putting something actually behind that. And that's where we have a responsibility, not just to, as Dr. Carr said, fight capitalism with capitalism, but we have a responsibility to, as I've said many times, continue to push for Black-owned businesses like what you do, Roland, we have to validate Black-owned businesses and demand that they get a piece of the pie. A lot of times, Roland, when I see you make a comment about Black media or whatever situation may be, you got people say, "Oh, Roland is just talking mess," or why are you making demands? And they want you to hush up when there should be more and more people behind you. And so if we put our weight behind Black businesses, if we find out who those Black businesses are, and we find out who the Black talent is, not just the onesie twosie, they like to trot out the same people and move them from this board to that board. And, they only got a handful of people that they let be put on. And that's who they just recycle. If we say we want more people, we want our talent to be put on, we want equity, we want ownership, and we want our things that we own to be invested in, then we can have more power. But as long as we're satisfied with the gestures and, well, we see it on TV, so I guess we're making progress because now they're talking about our issues, that's not gonna move us forward.
All right, folks, back to that Roland Martin Unfiltered video in just one moment.
It's time to be smart. When we control our institutions, we win. This is the most important news show on television of any racial background. Y'all put $2, $3, $4, $5, $10, $15, $20, $30 on this and keep this going. What you've done, Roland, since this crisis came out in full bloom. Anybody watching this, tell your friends, go back and look at the last 2 weeks, especially of Roland Martin Unfiltered. I mean, hell, go back and look at the last 2 days. You've had sitting United States senators today, Klobuchar and Harris. Whatever you can bring to Roland Martin Unfiltered to support it, please do, because this information may literally save your life.
Watch Roland Martin Unfiltered daily at 6 p.m. Eastern on YouTube, Facebook, or Periscope, or go to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Support the Roland Martin Unfiltered Daily Digital Show by going to RolandMartinUnfiltered.com. Our goal is to get 20,000 of our fans contributing $50 each for the whole year. You can make this possible. RolandMartinUnfiltered.com.